Hello, hello. Should be live-ish. Live-ish. Yep, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Morning? Where are you viewing from? It's not morning. You must be viewing from across the pond. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Evan Freiberger, and we're going to be covering, because honestly, I got really nothing else to do. We do have a small tornado threat out here in Missouri, where we have a couple of cities already in a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out there. We got a 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds here with this storm heading into Bloomfield, Missouri. And then back over here near Cape Girardeau, we have another storm moving on to the north and east with some 1.25-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds moving up towards Tams, Mill Creek. Looks like they just downgraded this actually to 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to be heading into southern Illinois. And I think we have storm chaser Carmen Palermo, who is out there. Let's go listen in. He's been on this storm. He's actually been seeing some pretty cool views on it. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, yeah, look at that. My goodness. There's a storm. I think that is the one in Illinois. If I remember him, he told me he was chasing in southern Illinois. So he's not on that storm, on any of the storms in Missouri. He's actually in Illinois. Yeah, look at that. Clear blue skies out in front of the storm. And with a little storm, it's nothing too crazy to write home about. But you can make an argument that maybe one tornado could be possible today. So there is that. There is a little threat for that. Yeah, I don't think today's stream is going to be too riveting, but I mean, it's been so long since I've said hello to you guys, and I'm sure some folks got some questions because there is a severe thunderstorm warning out there. Oh yeah, just decided to come on and mainly hang out. Hopefully we don't have to cover any tornado warnings today. I think it's a pretty low chance, but can't completely rule it out. I'm just getting the music started over here. Get that music going. Why is that so quiet? There we go. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I just got back from golfing, which is why I'm dressed like this with the hat. I could take the hat off. I have massive hat hair. We could do that. Hat hair stream, anybody? There's a lot of chasers out there, though. There are. None of them in which we can use. Let me see if Zach's out tonight. We also have another camera. Back over here, this is Radar Omega Cam. And thank you, Pathmedic Jan, for the $20. Thank you so much. Good to see you and your family. Have a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, you too. What do you guys, are y'all doing the traditional turkey this Thanksgiving? Also, a person in my Discord named Redbird made this camera program. And check this out. I go out of here, and then I have cameras. So there's Radar Mega. This is supposed to be a camera here, but it seems to be down. And then I don't know what this one is. This is a Radar Omega Storm Chaser. And these are weather-wise storm chasers. So we can't click on any of those. Can't click on any of those. But these blue ones are traffic cams. Is these? Yeah, here's a traffic cam out over here. Yeah, it makes it easier. It's a lot bigger, so I can actually see the cities. And yeah, I'll be working with Redbird to try to maybe get some radar overlaid on here. And there's not all the traffic cams. We got Tennessee, Alabama. We need Georgia's, South Carolina's. Florida's a good one to have as well, but we'll be working on that. I have no idea how he made this, but it works, and that's all that matters. And there's a cool little view here. So they just put a new severe thunderstorm warning on this guy out over here south of Sykeston, Missouri, going into Matthews here. That's going to be for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that's going to be moving down to the south and east into Matthews and over I-55. So if you guys live in this area, make sure that you are indoors and away from windows. Also, some storms developing back over here near Mount Vernon and Steelville as well here in Illinois. Thank you, Zinroth, for being a member for 18 friggin' months. That's a lot. Hope all is good for you in chat. Yeah. How's everybody doing today? What did I score today? I was actually doing really good. I got a birdie today. I got a couple of pars and a couple of double bogeys early. But then I was able to get back into that bogey pace, and then, you know, turning the, like, I didn't get to go to the driving range today. So that was why I started off a little bit rough. But then as I was coming into the back nine, there was the wind really started to pick up, and my shot's a really flighty shot. It goes pretty high up. And I don't have, I'm going to learn but I don't have a low stinger shot yet. And I paid the price. I paid the price today. It was not good. Do I have this camera set up at all? Oh yeah, that's this button. Oh, cool. Yeah, I do not have, man, look at that shelf cloud. Wow. I do not have a low flighted shot though, unfortunately. So I couldn't cut it through the wind, and yeah, it ruined my round. I got a 95. I was on pace to maybe get like 85, but then the wind hit, and because I don't have that low stinger shot, I kept on hitting it. Like, I would hit my 6-iron, which usually goes like 185, 190, and it was going like 140. So that 30-mile-per-hour wind. Funnel cloud on the storm in Morehouse. I mean, this is that storm. No, this is actually the storm near Bloomfield. I'd be surprised if there's a funnel cloud on this, to be honest, but hey, I mean, it's not impossible. There is some decent vorticity, so like those small little tubes, and maybe some funnels could also be possible out there. Let's come back over here and check in and see if Carmen is back on a storm again. I am using your camera program, Redbird. Huge shout out to Redbird. There's Redbird in chat. He made that camera program. Redbird, do you think that's going to be it for all the cameras that you're adding? Or are you just going to like progressively add cameras over time? No rush. Storm Chaser confirmed funnel. So apparently we have a Storm Chaser confirmed funnel on this storm back over here near Baker. I would assume. Maybe it could be like back over here. There are a lot of little scraggly dudes that I was seeing earlier. So with the visibility dropping, it might not be a funnel cloud. It could be Scud that looks like a funnel cloud. Let me see if okay, you guys can tell me who it is just this one time, just so I can check it out. See if I can verify the funnelness of the cloud. A huge cloud looks more like an eagle. Which one? Like the cloud itself? It's definitely got a big old shelf cloud on it. I mean, this is a classic shelf cloud here. This is the one that is coming into Bloomfield and is eventually going to be moving into Essex. Lots of lightning, some decent wind, up to 60-mile-per-hour winds as well. It was near Sykeston. Oh, this one? Yeah, this is the storm over here into Illinois. I think it was Vince. Oh, okay. I have to check to see if Zach's up. Zach usually chases with Vince, and we can use him. Yeah, he's not live today. We got Vince Welty today. Check this out. Vince Welty actually released his own sounding today, believe it or not. Or his own, he launched a balloon into the air. And it's pretty cool. You can actually tell on some decent data from this. You can see, here's the altitude over here. And in the lower levels, you know, we're talking about 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. Or meters per second. I don't know how that converts. And then near 4,000. So it just gradually climbs. And the winds are stronger as they go up in height. You can see this little blue line going up. But I mean, he said that they're eventually going to be able to get soundings, which I think is really, really cool. And that will allow, you know, more data, which we're all about more data. And you can actually even tell by when you zoom in here, you know, that the wind in the lower levels of the atmosphere are going more north, and then as they go higher, it goes more to the east, and then as it gets up into the upper levels, it starts to go more southeast. So there's not a whole lot of turning with height, but there is some decent, some decent turning in the very lower levels, which is probably going to allow for some brief little spin ups, or maybe even some funnels. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Vince had a funnel. Okay, let me check. Vince Wayelty. Mute him up. Somebody came into chat. Oh, yeah. That is an interesting looking cloud. That looks pretty tornadic. Yeah, very well could have been a funnel there. I'm not seeing any ground circulation. It does look very funnel-like. It is a little dark, so it's kind of hard to tell if there's any spin in that area, but it does look very funnel-like, pretty smooth. I'm definitely leaning more towards funnel. So might have had a funnel with this storm over here. Let me see. It doesn't show where he was. He was in Sikeston, Missouri, which is interesting. I think he's just south of Sikeston. Oh, wow. You can actually see the bottom of the shelf cloud now. Look at this. Howdy, howdy. Hello, PA Storm Tracker. Show us? I can't, unfortunately. Cannot show you guys, Vince, because we do not work with him. If you want, you can go over to his stream. There's potentially a brief funnel there. It's just hard to confirm. How you doing, Josh? You'll be out soon. Awesome. Hope you guys get to see some storms. Yeah, these are the storms in Missouri right now. And the severe thunderstorm warning that was near Cincinnati has also been allowed to expire, by the way, just in case some folks are tuning in from that area. Not to be that guy. I mean, come on. At least once every stream, somebody from Clarksville has to ask a severe weather question. But you guys are not in the severe thunderstorm warning right now. But could get some storms come through by around 9 p.m. tonight. Probably won't be too tornadic at this point. Let me just check the environment as it comes through Clarksville. A little bit of shear there. Little bit of shear. But again, the shear in the lower levels and the upper levels aren't really very directional. Man, thankfully not a whole lot of significant tornado parameter on that little storm there. So probably going to be mainly a damaging wind and hail threat. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning in Arizona. The heck? Back over here near Hawkins, tornado possible tag on it. Wow. 1 inch hail. Yeah, a little bit of rotation there. Just to the north and east of Aguila. Moving up to the north towards 93. So if you live in Arizona, near Hawkins and Stanton, make sure that you are indoors and away from windows. Like back over here, we have 1 inch hail observed now with our storm heading into Yulin. And then after that is going to be Dongola here in southern Illinois. Hopefully in the next few weeks. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Honestly, I'm rooting against you guys not going live because that means there's no dangerous weather. No offense. Hey, Kick and Wing. Hello, hello. You're just a lurker, but wanted to say hello. Well, thanks for pausing on the lurker status and coming in and saying something. Aren't tornadoes rare in Arizona? Yes, they are. They don't happen often, but they can, technically. In Arizona, If we go over to our models and kind of see what's happening here, we got a lower level trough coming in here. A lot of people thought this was going to be a major tornado threat a week ago. Obviously, forecast change over that time frame, which is why we never trust things that far out. Right. I know you guys have been out there clicking on so much clickbait. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lower level, some lower level winds with this, so it's technically not impossible. A little bit of a significant tornado param. Surface base cape. I don't think it's gonna be too elevated, given that it's gonna be. Why isn't it popping up? There it is. Yeah, not too elevated, but there's a little bit there. I would say the tornado threat's pretty low, but I'm assuming, given that this is pretty close to that low pressure system, there's going to be a decent amount of vorticity, which could allow for some spin in the lower levels. Good evening here from the UK. It's freezing here. Yeah. Y'all keep that over there. Apparently, Vince has a tornado on the ground. Let me double check that. I'm not seeing that. No tornado on the ground on Vince's stream. It's a little, well, it looks like this storm near Matthews might be getting a little bit more outflow dominated. So yeah, no tornado on the ground on his stream, and not seeing anything via radar at this moment. This is back over here near Dexter. This storm in particular has lost its severe thunderstorm warning, but there's still a decent amount of lightning in it. Some heavier rain and some wind is going to be coming through Dexter, and probably just to the south, if not eastern Morehouse, Missouri. Anything for Lexington? Definitely, where is Lexington again? Hold on, let me remember where Lexington is. Yeah, definitely some rain. I don't think you guys are going to be getting any strong storms, though. There is technically a small chance. Here, I'll show you on the models here. I will show you on the weather models. There is a small chance. It's not technically impossible. And in fact, I think you guys are just in the severe weather risk. Could get a lot of heavy rain as we go into... wait a second. That was at 5 p.m. on the 18th. No, this is the 18Z. Let's go to the 22Z. Yeah, potentially at around 8 p.m. tonight, could get a round of heavier rain there in Lexington, but we're not expecting anything serious like tornadoes or anything. Northern Kentucky, specifically Florence, Kentucky. Okay. Hopkinsville. Yeah, there's definitely a chance as we go. I think it was 9 p.m. is when your little threat shows up there. Yeah, around 8 or 9 p.m. there in Hopkinsville. I don't think the tornadoes threat's going to be specifically high with this at all, but I do think that you're going to have a chance for some damaging winds and maybe some small hail. I thank you, PA Storm Trackers, for being a member for 10 whole friggin' months. Thank you. You're almost hitting that year. Heading out. All right. See you soon. Thank you again for being a member for so long. White House, Tennessee. Let me see where that is. White House, Tennessee. Yeah, you guys are all the way down here. Poof. South of Clarksville. It's possible you guys might get some severe weather. I don't think your tornado risk is going to be elevated. Yeah, it's going to be hit or miss down there. Hit or miss. But could get some thunderstorms. It seems like, though, that the environment won't be as favorable there. Every time someone says hail, you never see it here. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it, you know, like when there's a red blob on these maps, you know, it does kind of mean something. Like, we do have storms here, but to be fair, this blob of storms in reality is actually back down here. All right. So the ARRR was a little bit off to the north and east, which is pretty darn good. If you're talking about you know, accuracy, that's not too far off. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to get hail. You got to be kind of in the right spot of the storm. You know, these storms seem, you know, relatively big, but where that hail is falling is usually a lot smaller. Like you see where it's little kind of glowing here, flashing a little bit. That is where that hail potentially is in these storms. They did allow this severe thunderstorm warning back over here northeast of Tams to expire. Elizabethtown, see anything? Is that Kentucky as well? Yes, it is. Yeah, you guys are over there near Lexington. So this little line of thunderstorms will eventually make it down to you guys. And this is also what's going to come through Lexington. I definitely expect some heavier rain. Severe weather is technically possible, but it's going to be very spotty. So I would expect heavier rain, maybe some thunder. And then, you know, there's a small chance, not a very elevated chance at all, that you will see severe weather out of it. Guess we can do the composite radar here for a second, so everybody can kind of get their bearings on where all the storms are at the moment. Or the one north of Nashville. Yeah, the one north of Nashville could potentially get some severe weather there. And that'll probably be at around 10 p.m. What's up, WX Kevin? Welcome, welcome. Some of that precip here in Pennsylvania is mixing with snow. Really? Very nice. Very, very nice. If we had the Pennsylvania cameras in this program, we would go check it out. Hopefully we can get some more cameras in there. Storms near Cincinnati are weakening. Yeah, they did have a severe thunderstorm warning on them, and they're moving into like Mount Orb and Georgetown now. You can see there was one on it earlier, but they did allow that to expire. But you could probably still expect some, you know, pretty gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour. So a decent amount of lightning and some heavy rain with that. Not going to be nothing, but it's definitely not going to be overwhelming at all. Yeah, y'all should be eventually getting snow. Who knows when that's going to happen? Although if you look on YouTube right now, you'll probably see every single meteorologist out there with snow maps that are posted all the way from like the beginning of January. So yeah, everybody's gone crazy in the weather world. You don't expect this in northern Alabama? No, I do not. I do not. I don't even think we're going to get rain. Let me see. Hopefully we get something. Yeah, a little bit of rain. Probably not going to be severe, but as we go into like early this morning, probably around like 4 a.m., we get a little bit of rain. You guess nobody watched it? Oh, they watched it. They're eating that stuff up right now. That late night. I mean, oh my gosh, there's some cool lightning happening here. Let's watch this. But yeah, that late in the season forecast, people eat that speculation up. They love it. It's never right, but for some reason, people watch it. I guess they like to fantasize. You can predict storms? Nice. No, we're getting more rain on Friday. Yeah, no big snowstorms. There are no big snowstorms on the horizon that have any consensus. Like if you go on the GFS, I'm sure you can find a big one somewhere. That's going to be well out in the future. There's nothing within the realm of accuracy. So that's why I haven't posted like any videos, because there just hasn't been anything to talk about. Like, yeah, I could make a video being like, the weather is about to do a backflip, or a huge change is coming to weather. And it's just like a cool down or a little heat up, you know, like what usually happens. Or I could be like, wow, this is kind of strange. It's going to rain. It's going to get down and rainy, you know? I could do that. But I just have no interest in making videos like that. I feel like it's just a bunch of overhype for nothing, and then like people click on it and then they are like, oh, so it's just gonna get warmer. Which I guess people are okay with, but I am not. Personally, I am not. It's just me. To be clear, when I say I don't like these people's thumbnails, it doesn't mean I hate them, folks. It just means I disagree with that certain tactic. Like, I've called out Max Velocity's thumbnails in the past. Would I still play golf with him? Absolutely. Would I still buy him dinner if he ever comes into Huntsville? Absolutely. He's a good person at heart. He's just doing what he feels like he needs to do. Do I agree with it? No. Absolutely not. I think it's stupid. You love overhyping weather events. I think generally people like that. Believe it or not. I think generally you're not alone. I think when you look at who gets the most views and how little backlash there is against the rampant misinformation, you would get the sense that people enjoy to be misled. Either that, or they just don't know where they are, or they just don't remember that they got misled. I don't really know the science behind it, but I don't really care. You're in Union City, Tennessee, and the lightning coming off the storm is amazing. Oh, wow. Cloud anchoring is phenomenal. Interesting. Where is Union? I'm assuming, yeah, it's Union City's over here. Let me see if we can see what you're seeing. Come over here really quick. Might have some cameras over there. Redbird has done a good job with including the Tennessee cameras. Yeah, Union City's like right here. This should be Union City. Why is the weather cam pointed at the ground? Amateurs. Noobs, even. Can you see it from Tiptonville, maybe? There we go. This one's pointing at this guy. But you can't really see anything. Yeah, we still have this storm approaching from Bloomfield that we've been looking at. Has a decent amount of lightning. I wish everyone would tell the weather like me. You are one of the few, but hey, you know, I will continue to be vocal about it. I think people think that like I'm just gonna shut up because they're like, hey, that's my favorite streamer. Stop making fun of their thumbnails. But you know, it's like in my mind, I see a future world where people eventually get angry at stuff like that, where they get misled so often that they start ignoring every warning, and then eventually everything kind of resets and people start looking for people that don't hype, and they get the more like that will get more clicks. So I think we're just a couple years ahead. We gotta wait for people to like get annoyed of it, get annoyed of the constant like over exaggeration. All right, let's come check back in here. It's been a little while. Has anything really changed here? We've got a little area of some rotation trying to develop here east of Matthews and east of 55. It's not very tight really at all, but there is some decent velocities, at least enough to be like, might have to keep an eye. We see we got some grays in between, indicating that our rotation is rather broad right now, but something to keep an eye on there. Really all I'm seeing, there's also some pretty broad circulation back out over in this area as well. And then maybe you could say this is some rotation, but I think that we're dealing with some side lobe contamination back here. So these colors are probably more similar to these colors, but we're getting a little bit of a glitch there. Yeah, little something. Nothing that like, is making me concerned yet. And again, other than that storm, we have a severe thunderstorm warning back over here near Arizona that is going to be moving into Hawkins eventually. That is all that's going on. We have 2 whole severe thunderstorm warnings happening right now. What kind of comment did I just read in chat? We had some straight up brain rot enter into chat for a second. don't think I'll ever be the same. You feel like every clickbaity title and thumbnail just makes me more desensitized for when the actual big event happened? Yeah. You know, that's the big, like, listen, here is the reality of weather. For tornado outbreaks, you don't need to know until like day 3. You don't need to know a week in advance. You know, you only need, in all realism, you only need about a day or 2 to prepare for a tornado. Now with hurricanes, you know, that's when you'll start to see me speculate a little bit more, because unfortunately people need like 3 days to a week to prepare for that. With snowstorms, people just let that stuff hit them. They don't evacuate, even if it's going to be like a foot or 2 of snow. Like, people do need about, though, like at least 2 to 3 days, maybe to get some extra supplies, like extra milk, extra bread, all that kind of stuff. But like, I mean, especially down here in the Southeast, probably good to speculate a little bit further into the future. But in reality, you don't need to know a month in ahead or even a week in ahead for most things. And so, you know, that's why, you know, in a perfect world, no one would even talk about weather when it's quiet and there's nothing on models. And then when something crops up that's actually in the range of agreement, people would start posting about it. And I think that would, you know, bring people a little bit more or a little less anxiety, you know, without having to hope or without having to like always thinking that something bad's going to happen. But, you know, once they watch the video, that's the thing. Like the thumbnails and the title are obviously atrocious, but once they watch the video, their anxiety goes down. But I don't think it's fair to really to anybody else that like wants to do like accurate weather reporting to clickbait and then just completely capture the audience with misinformation. Thank you, Dragon, for the 2. Thank you. But then nothing happens. Yeah, but that's because people are, you know, what they do is they look too far in the future. You know, for snow, you really only start to get accuracy within the 3 days of range. Like, even if you have model consensus or the ensembles pointing at something, you still need to be in that 3-day range, because you can get a shift of like 100 miles and then the people that are on the edge are just not getting anything at all. And those shifts of that magnitude can happen within the 3-day range. So snow's a lot harder to forecast, and which makes it a lot more stupider to look too far out into the future. That's why winter forecasts don't make any sense, because they're never going to become true, because it's just impossible to tell. It's basically just a weather conspiracy theorist. Hey, thank you, Jared, for the $1. Thank you. That's very, very helpful. I will use that to buy Chaz one treat. They don't get as many views. Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. That's why you see the biggest creators using the worst clickbait. There's some guy, or Connor. You guys remember Connor? Remember when he said that, you know, he's going to be focused on not overhyping and trying to be accurate? Yeah, well, he posted a video saying that an ice age might be coming. So yeah, we have decided to not work with him anymore. I think we have a tornado on the ground in Morehouse. Brief CC. Don't think so. I think I see what you saw, though. Let me look at it. Keep in mind, yeah, that looks... That looks like, yeah, that was probably clear air. What you saw there. Yeah, that's clear air. Not a tornado. But good try. You know, you got to try somewhere. You know, typically you'll find about 100 tornadoes that are not tornadoes before you start to get the hang of it. But it's always good to start somewhere. Wasn't there another person in here for a while? Yeah, that was Connor. Connor's Climate Corner. Yikes. Definitely misread that one, and I apologize for that. I'm usually pretty good at that kind of stuff, but I did not see that one coming. I guess I should have thought, you know, he started off in TikTok, but I try not to let, you know, overgeneralizations dictate the way that I assess someone's personality. Yep. Paris, Tennessee here. Where's Paris at? Oh yeah. You guys are probably gonna get these storms later for sure. As of right now, they're in Missouri still, heading through East Prairie and Pinhook. And then just south of Morehouse. You know, this one's kind of looking a little bit more supercellular, but you can see that it's pretty outflow dominant here. And we're definitely seeing some cold air kind of surge on this storm to the south right now, which is good. But, you know, we still technically have a small little tornado chance today. I think it's still a 2%, unless they changed it recently. Yeah, still a little 2%. That includes mostly, I don't think Fredericktown or Piedmont are really going to have, or Cape Girardeau or Carbondale are really going to have too much of a tornado threat, but more of like from like here on to the east is probably where that tornado threat still exists. But again, super small. Our main threats for today are wind and some hail. But, you know, I usually don't go live for 2%. But I mean, we haven't been live in so long. I miss you guys. How am I planning on being live tonight? I mean, we're not going for like hours on end. Maybe like 3 hours. I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see what happens. I mean, if if all of our severe thunderstorm warnings go and then they just never come back, and then all our storms become obvious that they're just not going to produce any tornadoes. Like as of right now, it's like still in the air. Like there's nothing on the mesoscale discussion or mesoscale environment, at least from the RAP analysis, that's indicating that our event is at the point where it's just not going to produce any tornadoes. And we still have some lower level shear in the area, about 20 knots. These storms are about to enter potentially into 30 knots of shear here in a little bit, although that might just outrun them. Does seem like a little bit of a surface inversion, though, might be building in the surface. Let me check the mix layer. Yeah, we still have enough instability in the mix layer, though. So if we start to see that inversion make it all the way up into the mix layer, then yeah, probably gonna see this event have almost zero tornado potential. So that could be soon. We'll see. I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys, answer some questions, and explain, like, you know, why I haven't been making videos or anything, because there's just nothing to talk about. Am I new? Because as of right now, I have two options. I can either just focus full time on the channel, post every day, and then, you know, make a bunch of clickbait and, you know, just be like everybody else. But I have decided to take option number 2, which is, you know, when there's actually agreement on a bigger event, that's when I'm going to start to post. So if you see somebody clickbaiting and then you go to my channel and there is no video, then you know that, you know, that's probably BS, you know. But if there is something like, you know, 5% tornado risk that looks probable, or, you know, a big snow event that is within the range of accuracy, I will start posting. And then when I'm not live, I'm going to be, I've been trying to do I've been working on, I already started a business a while ago, but I took a break from it, you know, buying and selling gold and silver, and then consigning jewelry. Started that over a decade ago. I took a break for a while, and yeah, and now I'm doing that on the side. And so we're just kind of reorganizing that. I got a meeting on the 9th, talking to some real estate agents and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be focusing on that on the downtime and not obsessing over YouTube, because I am still going to call people out for being idiots, though. Unfortunately, that's never going to change. I'm not afraid to do that. I hate people that like think that, you know, valid criticism is like hating on somebody. It's like, no, it's not. Unless I like specifically start to call you names, or like start personally attacking you, then that means I don't hate you. Like if I'm not starting to pull out the yo mama jokes on your ass, you know, I don't think I hate you. It's only when that happens, it's only when I get very verbal, and sometimes I can get verbal and still not hate you. I've cussed out my friends before for doing dumb stuff. I have. and then we're still friends afterwards. It takes a lot to make me hate you. But I mean, if you do something stupid, I'm going to call you out. Yo, mama's so big. She got her own zip code. Holy moly. That is big. That is big. I can't even make my mama jokes because I'm sure my mama is just like watching the stream. She slabbed the tornado. What? Yo, mama is so big. She don't even have to text you she's coming. You already know. You just already know. To connect with Michigan storm chasers, I'm down. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when there's not active weather on, I'm usually. Oh, did they let this expire? I think we have 0 severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't know why it's still up on here. I think they allowed it to expire. Let me check Radar Mega. Because my program whenever is faster than these guys. So let me just turn on the weather alerts. Yeah, they let it expire. We now have 0 severe thunderstorm warnings that are active right now. But that could change. Oh, Mama Fry's in here. Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop saying yo mama jokes. Y'all better stop saying them. She's here. And she's a mod too, so she'll if you do a good enough one, you might get banned. Yeah, Chazzy's barking. Chaz almost got in a fight with a possum earlier. Somehow a possum got in our backyard. It looks like Carmen is in the storm now. Is Blondie on today? I haven't seen her, but she might be lurking. Sometimes she lurks ready to ban people, and sometimes she just doesn't chat, which is totally fine. She doesn't have to always chat. You're a paramedic? Nice. Thank you for your service. The possum though was pretty cute though, I'm not gonna lie. It definitely wasn't like a full grown ugly adult. It was like one of those cute smaller ones. I took out my old driver and I like patted it for a little bit, and then I had to nudge it out the backyard. They are clean. Very low chance of rabies on those things. It's like a 1 in a million chance. But wasn't worried about that. And thankfully Chaz did not bite him. He just barked, got real close. Could have cuddled it. Well, they can have parasites. You got to be careful on that. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that it actually came up to the front door, and Chaz freaked out at it again, like after that. So I think he liked the driver pats. Yeah, possums are cool. They're not trying to hurt nobody. They just play dead when they're under a threat. Yeah, raccoons. Apparently raccoons are showing signs of domestication, which is pretty cool. They start selling raccoons in pet stores. That'd be a pretty unique experience. Oh, you had a copperhead in your house? Absolutely not. Guys, is the type of dog to get sprayed by a skunk. That is true. Poplar Bluff? Where is Poplar Bluff? It's right here. Yeah, storms are trying to build in near you. They are trying. Let me see if we have any cameras near Poplar. See if we can get a view on that sucker. We do have some cameras back here. Little traffic cam. Like a radar Omega cam in the area. Maybe it's looking at something. Doesn't seem to be much lightning with that storm, but storms are trying to fire near you. But if they can't really get their act together before that little boundary comes to your south, then you might not see much. That's the closest one that would have actually seen. So there's not really much lightning with that guy. I didn't see this camera over here. Why are raccoons evil? I don't think they're evil. Are they? I thought the general consensus on raccoons was that they were chill-ish. Chazzy does get all the girls. He does. How's Clarksville? Clarksville's probably going to get some storms around 9 p.m. And they're probably going to be from these storms, but it could be pretty hit or miss. So again, these storms are a little bit further south than what they were forecasted to be. A little bit further south. These guys, if I put it in motion, you can see they're likely going to be more of a threat over there near like Clinton and Hickman. They're going to come close to Clarksville, but I think at this current trajectory, they should stay to your south. And we're not really seeing too much build up to the north yet. We are eventually expecting, though, some more storms to fire a little bit further down to the east. You can see we do have some convection firing back over here near like 10 p.m. So these are the storms that, you know, we're supposed to go into Clarksville, but they're more down here. So you guys might get more into just like some rainy weather, with that more severe weather threat being like closer to like Union City or Paris or Murray. Yeah, right now, not seeing any rotation in these guys. Most wildlife are evil because they're trying to survive in this crazy world. And that's true. Yeah, Sykeston might be done here, but there is some convection trying to fire over there in Bloomfield, but that should stay to your south. If it does come over you, it shouldn't be near as intense as these guys are because they've kind of sapped up all the energy. Hey, from Clarksville. Well, hello. Welcome in. Has there been a tornado today? No, but there has been a funnel. Vince Welty did spot a funnel out there. There has been a funnel. It was with this storm earlier, but since then we haven't seen much. There is mainly just outflow dominated storms. Again, tornado threat today is small. We're kind of just here to hang out, and you know, if anybody comes here with questions, we'll answer them. Right now we're talking about opossums and lightning. You get your desktop back. Nice. What happened to it? Severe weather will be here in DFW. That's the current thought process. Just kind of unsure of, you know, how strong it will be. Let's see if the HRRR from the 18Z is in range. Yeah, you see how much rain there is? Just really not the best environment for severe weather. Our instability, let's see if we actually have a view of our instability here. There is some instability there, so definitely a chance for severe thunderstorms. But man, that is, yeah, really not much lower level shear. So we're really not talking about much of a tornado threat, at least for now. Things could change. We're still about 2 days out from it, but definitely some heavy rain, maybe some hail. Kind of looks a little bit marginal right now, though, if you ask me. Nothing too crazy, but we'll keep our eye on it. You know, if the SPC comes in with a slight risk, we'll probably make a video about it. We'll see. Yeah, not looking too crazy. Lower level shear is a little bit too low there for much of a tornado threat. Raccoons are smarter than humans. Probably smarter than some of them. Not gonna lie. Let's go back to the broad scale view for everybody else. We'll stay here for a little bit. When's the best chance of some cold, annoying snow in the northeast upstate New York? Typically as we go into December and in January is really when that starts to pick up. So I don't know when that's gonna happen, but raccoons don't clickbait people, at least. That is true. That's 1 point for raccoons. No problem, Jana. You've heard that crows are the crows are intelligent. Dolphins are intelligent. I think dogs are actually more intelligent than they let on. What is Carmen doing? I think dogs play dumb to get treats. Elephants are smart, yep. Whales are intelligent. Some of them are. They do have big brains, but big brains don't always mean smart. I think Carmen got out in front of the storms again. We might see an illuminated shelf cloud here if we get the right lightning bolt. So we'll stay here for a little bit. Dogs are flat out dumb. No, they're not. I think cows are like secretly smart too, but they also play dumb. Alligator. Oh, octopus. Octopus or octopi are pretty smart. What just happened? Did he turn off his camera or did he zoom in? I can't tell. Not a smart move, because people that are tuning in won't know that his camera's not working. It's always good to have headlights on, unless it's like a really active lightning storm. Because people are going to tune in and be like, why is this dude just got a black screen?
Rotation looks pretty weak on this storm again. The other storm is starting to pick up a little bit more again. But it's about to cross the Mississippi River and we'll never be able to catch up to it.
Okay, it's not a black screen. There was some lightning there.
Lightning on it. This one's kind of not very electric at all. Can't see anything. I could sort of see the structure above me. It looks pretty solid. It's a nice base.
Thank you, Relic, for the small tornado threat, small donation. Thank you. This is some really nice scenery, right? This is riveting content. There's the lights. Okay, now we know for sure it's not a black screen. The content just went from like maybe a little bit boring to like, okay, now there's lights. So like it went like one little point up on the entertainment scale. Oh, we got cotton, folks. That's another point for entertainment. Things are getting wild. Only on an Evan Freiberger and Carmen stream will this happen. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Well, our severe thunderstorm warnings have expired. We do still technically have a severe thunderstorm watch and still do have some storms ongoing. Our strongest ones are here near East Prairie and Matthews. Maybe a hail core developing here south and east of Matthews. Let's check and look at our vertically integrated liquid to see how strong our updrafts and if they can support some hail. Yeah, maybe some severe hail there south of Matthews. That might get a warning here in a little bit. In terms of rotation, not really seeing much. Our storms remain pretty outflow dominant at the moment as they move down into the south and east towards Hickman there in Kentucky. You just cut up a deer last night and ground up. Oh, you're eating good. What's Alabama's best food dish? I don't know if Alabama is known for creating any dishes. I'm sure there are some. I know sweet tea is super popular down here. Our barbecue is pretty dang good. But it doesn't really like compare to like other, like Tennessee's barbecue is really good. Alabama's is kind of mid compared to it. So And we don't really have anything we really are the best at, but we have some food. We're really good at grilling out when there's a football game. It's a 2% tornado risk. Where's your tornadoes? What? So we got a new mesoscale discussion. Still calling for the potential for some tornadoes into Western Tennessee. Let me see if I can get a graphic on that. Yeah, Korea has some really good barbecue. Yeah, Korean barbecue is bomb. They are surprisingly good at it. They're capping the environment. There is a surface. There's a surface inversion building in. It hasn't quite built into the mix layer yet fully, but that could happen at any moment. There is a little bit of a capping inversion near the surface now. About -50 CIN. Oh, there's our severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be for... Oh, wow. They kept it under severe for the hail. But they are saying 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible again here for Hickman and Clinton. So make sure you guys are indoors and away from windows. White barbecue sauce. That is true. Did they make that? Let me see who invented that. Who invented white barbecue sauce? Robert Gibson. Ah, so it is an Alabama thing. And there is the Gibson barbecue store. So yeah, barbecue. We're known for white barbecue sauce. It's different. Yeah, I've never eaten it before. I prefer just regular barbecue sauce, to be honest. Looks like rain is about to start moving into Frankfort and Cynthia, Kentucky here. Louisville's getting some rain. And some heavier rain is moving into West Union and over there near Portsmouth here within the next 30 minutes to an hour there in southern Ohio. Some scattered rain across the area. Don't have, but we can come over here to Radar Mega and come over to MRS here. See if there's any random snow. There is some random snow up here in Michigan, over there near Bay City and Auburn. Maybe some mixed precip there. Maybe some mixed precip over here in northern Pennsylvania near Edinburgh and Meadville. That is the only little area I'm seeing, other than over here in Utah, south of Antimony, where there could be some mixed precip over there as well. Riveting. Mayo, vinegar, and spices. Can anybody barbecue better than Texans? That's a tough one. Texas is just kind of the GOAT. But Tennessee has some pretty dang good barbecue. It's nice to see you. Been so bored, but glad for the calm weather. Me too. Yeah, I've been golfing a lot. In fact, I golfed today, so it's been nice. I've been enjoying it. As you guys can see, I still have the golf tan on the hands. One hand is white, the other one is tan. Here, yeah, West Virginia does have the pepperoni roll. We did learn that. And Mothman. I shot a 95. I was doing really good. Made a birdie. I actually I got on the green in 2 on a par 5. Had an eagle putt. Missed it, but made a birdie on it. Made a couple of pars, a couple of bogeys, but then like the last 5 holes were all into the wind at like 30 to 40 miles per hour. And I've never played in that kind of conditions before, so I am just not used to it. I don't have a low flighted shot. I didn't even know that was something that I needed to have in my bag. But I learned about it on YouTube after today because it absolutely ruined my score. It was like Carmen might be getting a little bit more wind, maybe. Yes, Rusty, that is the goal. Like, I am practicing today with the wind at my back. I drove the ball 350 yards. I can drive the ball in between like 300 to 320 miles per hour. So I don't need to worry about distance. I just need to get my accuracy down. That was really cool. The green was 340 miles, 340 yards away, and I drove it like past the green. Terrible on the greens. Yeah, that'll ruin your score. Like getting good at chipping, like I would say 60% of your shots are going to be chipping and putting. So if you really want to lower your score, really focus on those. But I mean, you got to have it all. Yeah, the winds are definitely picking up. This is in southern Illinois, I think south of Vienna, Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Tonight doesn't really seem
The short game is good to have. Oh wow, look at all those leaves.
It could still be brief. It could spin up later.
Yeah, also another thing to keep in mind with today is that it's very leafy out there. There's a lot of leaves that are falling, so you could get a gust of wind and see like a quote unquote debris signature on radar, but that's just leaves being blown.
There's a strong little surface inversion.
I'm gonna start a golfing YouTube channel eventually. I think that'd be fun. It would be nice to make content that is like in that space, because then it's not, you can just do whatever you want, you know? Like, I'm really annoyed with weather YouTube. I just feel like it's gone down completely into the S-hole. It is an S-hole, YouTube weather. Just way too much speculation. Really no focus from a lot of people's channels on like the science of it. It just seems, it seems like a strange environment. Evan Baldingberger? Not yet, but I do have gray hairs, apparently, according to the last person that cut my hair. I think it could improve. I do think eventually people are going to get sick and tired of overhyping every little thing, and I do eventually think that there's going to be a revolt, just not today. Like I said, I think we're a couple years ahead, but I think our opinion will be popular, hopefully in a couple years. But who knows? By that time, AI might have taken everybody's job and we're all slaves. By then, I don't know. I don't know the future. Future is so uncertain. How does everybody feel about the future in chat? Anybody hopeful at least? You go to Top Golf all the time with your coworkers. Never actually golfed on a course. Maybe someday. Yeah, Top Golf is fun. Putt-putt's also really fun. The revolution will not be YouTube streamed. It probably will. Let's be honest. Someone's gonna be streaming it. Yeah, then there's climate change as well. Boy, we have so much fun in the future to look forward to. Top Golf. Golf just in general is too freaking expensive. Oh wow, wait. Check this out. I think it's getting a little bit more gnarly here. Definitely having your rain. Little update on that severe thunderstorm moving into Kentucky. They did upgrade the hail to 0.88 inch hail, so not quite quarter sized. A little bit of a clearer picture here. Definitely heavy rain with this storm, but again, not severe storm, so not seeing too much wind. But huge shout out to Carmen for reporting on this little small storm. Yeah, Chillicothe, Ohio does have a line of storms that are moving through. I wouldn't say you got hammered. I think you're being a little bit dramatic there. Let's look at the radar. Maybe the radar down there shows a different. I mean, come on, man. What are you talking about? You didn't get hammered. Oh, wait, you got hammered in Chillicothe. Got it. So you were drinking. My bad. I misunderstood the message. Started to miss streaming. Yes. Yes. We typically do not expect me to go live, especially during severe weather season for 2%, because those are usually our rest days. But, you know, why not? Is kind of what I was thinking. Also, we had some things to talk about. I'm sure you guys were wondering why I never post videos anymore. I've changed a couple things in like my thought process on weather, or not on weather, but in on YouTube. And I think I'm gonna have a little bit more laid back approach when it comes to posting. Obviously, I'm already kind of laid back when it comes to like my way that I talk about storms, and then also how I forecast them. But I think we're really only going to start to post videos when there's like actual agreement that something is going to happen. I don't want to be one of those channels where you're watching and you're thinking this will never happen because it's too far out in the future type thing. We're going to just kind of wait until something actually pops up. So probably not going to be posting as much until severe weather season gets back up, or maybe we get like some active snow, and you know, we'll be posting and going live for that. How's the voice? It's good. I mean, I haven't used it. Voice has had plenty of time to heal. Too much time, some would say, but it's fine. I'd rather, you know, I'd rather just not go live, because that means the weather is good. Does YouTube pay much? It pays enough to pay the bills when it's active, but when it's not active, no. It does not. It doesn't pay anything if it's not active. A little bit broad circulation starting to develop here north of Hickman. Still not strong enough to really concern me yet, but we do have a little area of some broad circulation north of 3 states that I am now starting to keep a little bit of an eye on. Not tight enough, I don't think, yet to produce a tornado, but definitely something to monitor. Is Murfreesboro okay? Yeah, I think Murfreesboro is going to be okay. I do think there's a small chance for severe weather, but if we look at our models, it's just not, there's nothing that's really sticking out to me that's going to be like dangerous. You might get some like lightning if you're lucky. If you're a lightning enjoyer, probably around like 12 a.m. You'll probably be asleep. But if you get woken up, if you wake up at 12 a.m., it was probably because of a random lightning strike. Thank you, Amanda, for subscribing. Thank you. I'm surprised I didn't stream during that potential thunder snow thing. I could have. It's just like honestly, that up there in this area is not a big event. It's like getting this kind of severe thunderstorm warning here in you know, this area. It's like, yeah, it's about as, like, even though they got like a foot of snow, like I did a poll on it on YouTube. I'll bring it up. You guys, some of you guys probably already saw it. Yeah. I said, if you got more than 6 inches of snow this last winter storm, did it majorly affect you? Feel free to elaborate below. Only 13% of people up there consider that major impacts, and those are probably people that just moved in there. 23% said no fun snow. So no, it was fun snow. And then 64% said, you mean those flurries? So like, it's not really a big event up there at all. Even though they got a foot of snow, they get that every year from that lake effect stuff. All right, let's come check back in on the radar. Definitely some stronger velocities here on both sides, but still very broad. Very broad rotation with this storm moving down into Hickman and Brownsville and Halewell. Halewell. That is fitting for what is coming. Man, how long has it been since we've just been this quiet in the weather world? It's pretty crazy. You heard there was a mesocyclone? There could be. There very well could be. We haven't been able to see the storm, though, in a while, as we don't have any cameras nearby. No cameras in the warning area. We do have some cameras near Union City and also in Martin, Tennessee, that will eventually have, hopefully, a view of this storm coming in. This one near Union City, though, is not very helpful in terms of monitoring for the storm. So I'm just going to keep it on this one in Martin till something actually happens. This year, we are going to get a hurricane that's going to turn into a snow cane. Nice. If that actually happens, I will pay you $10,000. David and Mark. Who's David and Mark? Very quiet here in Springville, Tennessee. Yeah, storms aren't really that widespread right now. We've only got one that's severe right now. Springville, Tennessee. You guys are in a severe thunderstorm watch, and eventually you probably are going to get this storm. You know, whether or not it's actually, okay, that is actually a little bit concerning here north of Dorinna. That's actually some tighter circulation there. It's pretty close to actually producing a tornado there north of Dorinna. So if you live in Dorinna, Ways Corner, you guys need to be just not in your safe spots yet, but ready to go. Oh yeah, latest scan, that is even tighter. That might be a little, there's still no debris signature though. It is, cannot confirm it on radar, but that is a tight little couplet. Could be getting a tornado here shortly, here north of Hickman. Might even get a tornado warning here in a little bit. You can even see this storm has a little bit of a supercellular shape to it as well. There's the inflow of the storm. Little mesocyclone is right here. Interesting. Our rotation is more down to the south there. We'll see if that actually produces something. But if you live over there near Hickman and Moscow and Halewell, just be ready to go to your safe spots just in case. You've been studying tornadoes in the past and you were shocked how many insane tornadoes happened during graduation. Well, to be fair, graduation does happen for a lot of folks in the peak of tornado season. So although it's, not super common, May is a popular month for graduation, and even June. It'll be interesting. If that lasts one more scan, I would not be surprised if they threw a warning on this. I'm honestly surprised they haven't thrown a warning on it yet. It's close enough for me to where I'd be like, yeah, we should probably tornado warn that. Because again, pretty tight couplet. I wouldn't say it's very strong rotation. We're talking 39 miles per hour and 20 on that side. Actually 30, it's about 60 miles per hour if you add those together. Which is not nothing. It'll probably be a weak tornado unless it gets any stronger. What is the busiest month for tornadoes? It's usually like April going into May. And then you start to get more of those outflow, boundary driven type tornadoes where, you know, oh, there it is. We got our first tornado warning of the day here, folks. It's gonna be for Hickman, Brownsville, and Case. All need to be going into their safe spots. So that your safe spot is the lowest, most interior portion of your house. As many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. A tornado shelter or a basement that is underground, and you guys need to be going there right now. Again, that's over there near Hickman, Case, and Brownsville, and Lynn, Dorena Landing. All need to be in their safe spots. And although this is pretty darn far to the south, our main areas of rotation are back over here. We also have another little area of rotation back over here as well. We have two little areas. No debris signature, so still cannot confirm a tornado via radar yet. But again, if you live in this area, make sure that you are in your safe spots just in case this storm does get a little bit more organized and actually drop a tornado. No, this is not in Tennessee. This is technically in southeastern Kentucky. The rotation right now is just about to leave Missouri and enter into, southwestern Kentucky. Cam search. I don't think there's any cameras there. Let me double check. Come over to here. I know there are cameras in Kentucky. Let me see if I can find any just on my camera map. My other camera map. We do have this camera that we've been watching here in Martin. We have one a little bit closer here in Union City. Yeah, the closest traffic camera, which is a picture cam. Yeah, we have picture cams in Kentucky, but no live cameras in this area. This is our closest one, and that is in Union City. Our storm is just north of Union City, so I don't think we're going to see anything from this camera. Let me see if we can get a storm chaser. I think Ryan Scholl's kind of close to this. If he's on it, we'll get him. No, he's behind it. Unfortunately, the only storm chasers that are out right now are storm chasers that only stream with Ryan Hall exclusively. So nobody else can use them, which is BS in my opinion. All right, I think we just got the latest scan in, not in velocities yet. So we're still waiting on our latest velocity to come in. We'll wait there for just a little bit. Is the polygon misplaced? It's definitely further south than it should be. Should really be over here near Wayne's Corner, Moscow and Case. Not really sure why it's so far to the south. It's the same on Radar Omega though, so it's not a radar program problem. It's we'd have a little area of circulation here and a little area of circulation here. And as far as I can tell, our circulation, let's see which way it's moving. Yeah, it's moving more to the east, southeast. And then our latest scan has just come in. Looks like that rotation has fizzled as of our latest scan. A lot broader here, but again, this storm's been pretty broad for a while, and then it all of a sudden started to develop some rotation. So I wouldn't completely rule out that happening again. So again, if you're in this tornado warning or north of this tornado warning, I would be keeping an eye on this storm. Yeah, weather has cams, but like can't be using them. 100% BS if you're streaming to keep people safe. I agree. I don't think anything should be exclusive. don't think anything should be exclusive. I think everybody should be allowed. I understand charging a dollar price. That's standard in this industry. But I mean, if you're going to be exclusive, you're really lowering the amount of information that can make it to the public, which is, in my opinion, just not smart at all. Yeah, that's the latest on our storm. If you're just now tuning in, we have a tornado warning here into parts of really far southeast, kind of just north and east of the Boot Hill, Missouri, south of East Prairie. They're in Missouri and moving into parts of Kentucky. We did have an area of some rotation earlier that got pretty close to producing a tornado near the border of Missouri and Kentucky. You can see here we had some pretty tight rotation. That's why they issued this tornado warning a little bit too far to the south, in my opinion. It should have been more like towards Moscow there. But as of our latest scans, that rotation has fizzled, and we're currently monitoring to see if this storm is going to be a cyclical supercell or if it's just going to kind of fall apart. Fingers crossed it falls apart. Do I still think it'll be that crazy once it gets into Clarksville? No, I do not. In fact, it looks like this storm is going to mix Clarksville all together. Yeah, there are a couple storm chasers out over here. Unfortunately, none of them that I can use. Dang. Y'all bots got more viewers than us, guys. AI's taking over. We're cooked. On here going, yeah. There's I think at least 2-3 storm chasers on the storm right now. Yeah. Hey, hi Evan, coming out soon. It is not. I am very, very anti-AI. I think it is the worst thing that has ever happened to our species. Very broad circulation here. Our winds are kind of moving like this in the middle. Actually, there is a little bit of a hidden circulation underneath this polygon here. A little something happening there. I don't think that's a tornado. I think that's just some stronger wind blowing some leaves there, potentially. Just not circular or concentrated enough to say that's a tornado. But we do have a little bit of a couplet here near Obion Creek that is moving down to the south and east towards Moscow and Case. So I would be in your safe spots there at Moscow in case, just in case. I think it's making a giant mezzo. I wouldn't say giant mezzo. It's just what's happening here is we have a lot of cooler air kind of pushing down to the south here. We got an outflow boundary here. And we have a couple of circulations trying to develop along that outflow boundary right now. Also, a little bit of circulation developing back over here. Let me check to make sure that's not clear air. Yeah, that appears to be clear air, so not worried about that. AI in science medicine is good. AI anywhere else is not. Yes. Yeah, I think AI has its purposes. I think it's fine for like science, you know, and like Google search purposes. But like, I don't think it's helpful in any way. Everywhere else, it's just stealing people's passions, jobs, and it does not look like the government is in any rush to make sure that people that lose their jobs get compensation, which means we're about to have a lot of broke people out there. And that's not good. You're a graphic designer and AI is the worst. Oh gosh. Yeah, I can only imagine. There's 2 areas of rotation in there. Yeah, kind of. You got this little guy back over here and then this little guy here as well. I think this might, it's hard to tell whether or not that might be a little bit of contamination or not, but there definitely is 2 little areas of circulation, 1 and 2 there. No debris signatures on either one of them, so we cannot confirm any tornadoes on the ground at the moment, but we definitely do still have enough rotation to support a tornado warning here. Although I do think it should be a little bit more up to the north. Dead internet theory? Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, a new, I guess, statistic just came out that AI now posts more news articles than humans online. And the medical field is dangerous. Could be. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Oh boy. Yeah, we have another area of stronger rotation here as of our latest update on our radar. Still no debris ball, but again, very close to trying to produce a tornado here south of Wayne's Corner. This is outside of our tornado warning. I still believe our tornado warning should be a little bit further to the north and east here. I would still want Moscow and Case to be in their safe spots there, just given the fact that this circulation is currently outside of our tornado warning polygon. But yeah, another area of tighter circulation inside of our storm yet again. No debris signature, thankfully, but does seem to be trying to. I think of the Aurora. The Aurora was awesome. I love seeing auroras and taking photos of it. Don't get to see it that often in Alabama, but it's pretty cool when it does happen. That is out. Yeah, I saw that. Help. Did I take photos? Yes, I did. Yeah, it is a cyclical storm, at least, for sure. This is the second tighter rotation. The first one, there wasn't any evidence on radar that it produced, but this one could eventually try to produce. You know, we haven't seen a debris signature yet with any of our storms, but I mean, that's tight enough technically to sustain a tornado. Wow, that's beautiful, Sandy. Okay, just got our new radar scan in. Do we have our velocities yet? Not yet. We don't have our latest correlation coefficient yet either. Did you go chase mesocyclones? Yeah, they're pretty cool when they're not completely rain wrapped. Oh, looks like Carmen ended his live stream, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to have rated him. All good. No debris yet. Yeah, no debris yet, but it definitely could show up in a scan. I mean, there's a little something here, but again, unfortunately, not a convincing enough debris signature to be like, that's 100% a tornado. So maybe a small tornado there, maybe not. Impossible to tell, unfortunately, but it is in the right area. There's your velocity couplet. There does appear to be some CC drop. Is that a tornado, or is it leaves getting blown up by the stronger winds underneath this stronger outflow? Kind of hard to tell. There's another little something back over here as well. Not really sure what's causing that. That might be a little bookend vortex trying to form there. Everyone think the Weather Channel has become show business. Yes. And in fact, the reason why I know that eventually people are going to get sick and tired of the clickbait is because that's exactly what the Weather Channel did, and why everyone left the Weather Channel to go to YouTube and discovered people like Ryan Hall or Max Velocity or some of the other well-known people on YouTube. They did the exact same. They called every storm big and bad, and eventually people got annoyed of it. But Weather Channel, you know, they did that for like at least half a decade before people just got sick and tired of it. So give it another half a decade. Or I guess that would technically be like 2 years from now. The latest scan over here, still a little velocity couplet here, little something here. Not sure if that's a legitimate signal. It kind of looks a little bit contaminated to me. And then we got this little area back over here, but I think that's just general broad spin. Back over here is where I'm still worried about, still outside of the tornado warning. Don't really know why they haven't extended that a little bit further to the north. But each their own, I guess. Which chasers are exclusive? I think it's Brandon Kopic and Corey Gherkin, if I remember correctly. I think it's like anybody that's on weatherwise. I don't know. I know Brandon Kopic and Corey are. I just don't know if any of the other new ones coming on. I know if like you're sponsored by Radar Omega, you can't use any storm chasers on weatherwise. Because those chasers, and that's a weather-wise contract, not a Radar Omega contract. Still a little something here on the CC, or the velocity couplet is. Still don't think that necessarily means a tornado. Could have been a brief little NATO there. Probably was enough to maybe knock a couple trees down if it was one. But if it was a tornado, it was a very weak tornado there. And this would be like just maybe some leaves falling out of the sky. But they extended our severe thunderstorm warning now into Union City, Troy, South Fulton, Martin, Dresden, and Palmersville. Let me get a camera in Martin since this is getting close. Uno momento. Actually, what am I doing? I'm being dumb. We'll put this here. We have the one in Unionville already up, and then we'll have this one in Martin up as well. Well, you can actually see the lightning from our tornado warned storm here on the Martinville cam, or the Martin cam here in Tennessee. Yeah, I'm seeing them, Sandy. I don't want to take attention off of this storm yet, but we might look at it if our tornado warning is allowed to expire. What did I think of the Portnoy internet golf tournament? I think Melosi cheated. I think that was pretty obvious. Super sad about what happened to Beef. R.I.P. Beef. Paige, credible player, also cheated. And everybody knows you can't improve your lie in a tournament. Those are my thoughts. But it was nail biting. Great. I love it. Drama in golf. I love it. I watched every video of the internet invitational. Okay, they are keeping the tornado warning, but they still haven't extended it more to the north. We do still have some rotation in our main area here. Still no definitive debris signature yet with this guy, but a new little area. We might have had a brief spin up there, but again, we cannot really confirm that 100%. But yeah, some broader rotation over here near Moscow, and also some tighter circulation, or I wouldn't say tighter, but some broader circulation over there north and east of Case. So if you live in Moscow and Case, it technically wouldn't be a bad idea to be in your safe spots, if you ask me. How does one cheat at golf? So like when it's like a real tournament, you know, people use rangefinders, which is fine, but you can't use slope because it, like, I don't know, like it just tells you like for instance, if you're hitting down a hill, it'll tell you what the slope of that hill is, how far under it is of you, and it'll adjust the yardage. And they specifically said that that was not allowed in that tournament. And then Melosi was definitely using it. squiggly line storm. It certainly is. Yeah. We do definitely have some clustering here of these cells, but they've been able to eke out some circulations. There's a little bit tighter there in Moscow again, and then still broader north and west of Case. And again, down here, have a tornado possible tag still on our storm. As it moves into Tennessee, unless we get another new circulation, they probably won't extend the tornado warning into Tennessee. But if you lived over there in Union City, South Fulton, Martin, Palmersville, you guys need to be indoors and away from windows as you guys are next for this storm here. Yeah, I mean, it just now started exhibiting some rotation, although Vince might have caught like an actual funnel on this storm earlier. So that report alone could have been enough. But I think while he was reporting it, it dissipated. So they probably decided against a tornado warning. Ezzy, stop it. You want to come up here? Is that what you want? Come snuggles. I want some Jazzy snuggle time. Yeah. He always growls when I pick him up. Doesn't matter how I pick him up. I just don't think he likes to be manhandled, even though he asks for it. You can see the lightning. This is actually the lightning from our tornado warned storm. The little area of circulation developing here now, again near Case. Little tight area there. Not very strong, pretty weak, but we got to watch to see if it'll do the kind of something similar to what happened earlier down there. So I'm not seeing any debris signatures out on any of these rotations right now. Camera's almost dead center. I think it would be south. There is a South Fulton there, but I don't think there's any cameras there. Let me just double check the Tennessee cameras. I think a lot of the cameras in Tennessee are more like around the bigger cities, the live ones. Yeah, the closest camera to this is east of Clarksville, which is not helpful. We do have some radar mega cameras in the area, though. Look at that flash. Yeah, we're starting to see lightning on both of the cameras. So this one here is in Martin, and this one's further away, and this one over here is in Union City. Thankfully, they turned this camera. Let me make sure this is the Union City one, actually. Let me just double check. Is it? It might not be. Oh, this one is the Union City one. Oh. Whoops. And then this one is the Martin one. Yeah, okay. So this is the Martin one, which is a little bit farther away. And then this one is the Union City one. Camera's starting to shake a little bit, so some wind is coming in eventually. The storm is moving into Tennessee right now. I don't think they're going to extend the tornado warning unless we start to see some stronger rotation. Still waiting on that new radar scan to come in. Dave, it's probably because I haven't gone live in a while. Usually it sends out notifications depending on also like how many people pile in at once. And because this is not really a big event and we were kind of just doing this to hang out, obviously it's gotten a little bit more serious now. But yeah. So we've had pretty low viewership, which is, I wasn't expecting really much at all, given the intensity of the storm. But we do have a tornado warning now, so it is a little bit more intense. Favorable storms, just barely conducive for them, yeah. And we have a decent amount of lower level shear, but our thermodynamics are starting to get worse and worse. We do still have some decent mixed layer cape in the area though, which is what is really helping these storms stay organized. Azzy, did you just lick my, what is it called in between, like not on the backside of your elbow, but on the inside of your elbow? Has YouTube sent the 100K plaque? They might have. I haven't checked. They're about to take it away though. They're probably gonna send it and then come take it back because you're in that area. It's okay. We'll keep you up to date. You don't have to be terrified. This isn't like, we haven't seen any 100% NATOs out of this storm yet. There might have been a small one earlier. I do think that we're getting a little bit of contamination over here. Maybe a little bit of clear air contamination. Either that or we got a new couplet developing just to the west of Crutchfield. It's kind of hard to tell. Doesn't look like your typical signal. Elbow pit. There we go. This is Union City, right? Keep forgetting. Yes, this is Union City. We've got an update on our tornado warning. They are letting it expire in 3 minutes. So they're about to let the tornado warning expire. In fact, it might have already expired. Shooting star on the camera. It's technically possible. Probably a bug, though. Let me check Radar Mega. Let's see if they allowed it to expire. Yeah, they did allow this tornado warning to officially expire. And thank you, Jonas, for subscribing. Thank you so much. It is not the elbow. It's the inside of the elbow. What's up, Chazzy? Why you all antsy? Why are you all antsy? What's the matter? You just ate, didn't you? But yeah, still a decently strong storm heading into northern Tennessee, northwestern Tennessee, about to head into Union City and South Fulton. Also Martin, Dresden, and Palmersville as well. Hi, Jazzy. Oh, are you trying to say hello to everybody? Hello. Jazzy says hi. You staying? Okay. Yeah, latest scan, not seeing any areas of tighter circulation. Now more of a broad circulation here. Definitely an outflow dominant look to it. I'm surprised they never issued a tornado warning further up to the north. You think they would have fixed that, but... Man, lots of lightning on these cameras. This is our closest camera to the storm. Might see a shelf cloud here in a little bit. Your niece's first word was Walmart. That's concerning. Not mama, not dada, Walmart. Honestly, that's impressive. That's a hard word for a baby to say. Poplar Bluff looks fine. Those storms that tried to form nearby you have moved away from you guys. So you guys are probably going to be good for the rest of the night up there. That is a lot of lightning. It actually is a decent amount for sure. It's definitely an electrically active storm. And actually, wow, we just got an upgrade on our hail threat here. We're now talking about goofball-sized hail on our storm here. 1.75 inch with 60 mile per hour winds. So this is now a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, moving down to the south and east towards Jordan. And this will make a close approach here to Union City. So definitely where you see all this pink that is flashing in these black colors here, that is that hail core that is containing that hail. So if you live again near Woodland Mills, Jordan, South Fulton, Union City, Martin, Midway, Rivs, Latham, Dukedom, definitely would be indoors and away from windows. I don't think the hail's going to be that strong on this northern storm. I think it's mainly isolated to this guy right here. And they have also upgraded our southern severe thunderstorm warning to $half sized hail, but probably going to get that golf ball sized hail heading into Jordan and Chambers. How big is a goofball? Just the same size as a golf ball. Day one outlook updating now. Ooh. We shall see what it says. Let me know when it's fully updated. We'll go over it. Jazzy, why are you whining? Don't be sad. You just ate chicken and a vegan strip. You got the life. The good life. Yeah, we'll go back and watch the cam. The storm should become, this is in Union City. We're going to have at least a close enough approach here, I think, to see a shelf cloud. So keep your eyes peeled. And then this camera will also get hit, but later on, this is in Martin, Tennessee. So first it's going to be Union City and then Martin City, or Martin here in Tennessee. Also, another big shout out over to Redbird, who created this camera program. And I'm looking forward to see what it turns into. There is definitely a decent amount of lightning. Yeah, this is probably going to be a loud storm. Once it comes over you, it's probably a good chance you're going to have a close lightning bolt, or at least one that causes minor heart palpitations. Little interesting thing here, popping back up on radar, maybe another area of rotation here, south and west of Crutchfield, and then a broad circulation further to the south and west of that. No debris signatures yet on our storm, but we are watching it. Getting a bit of rain, yeah. We got some rain moving into West Virginia. It's going to get a little bit heavier over there near Huntington and Charleston as this line comes through. Also, the line of storms we were talking about looks like it's showing up a little bit earlier here near Lexington and Paris, Kentucky. And then also some thunderstorms might be possible all the way into Elizabethtown, Evansville, Indiana, near Carmi and Grayville there in Illinois. Carbondale and West Frankfort could get some thunderstorms, and also over here near Providence, Clay, and Madison. Our main severe threat continues to be this one little teeny tiny area of the United States. How many times have we gone live for this one little storm? For one little storm. Not often. And sometimes happens. Back to the camera. I feel like we're going to see a shelf cloud soon, as the outflow boundary is extending a little bit further than the precipitation shield, so probably got a good 5-10 minutes before that outflow boundary shows up here in our Union City camera. People do not believe you, but you can feel weather hours/miles away. You know what? That's not a crazy thing to think. Our brains used to be really good at sensing changes in weather. In fact, most animals have that ability. Union City. The hail core is either going to go into North Union City. It's probably going to come closer to like Jordan, Chambers, and like South Fulton. Or it could go right in between South Fulton and Union City. We'll see. It's going to be a close call for the Union City for this goofball-sized hail. At least we have lightning to look at. Hopefully that's it. On this storm over here near Union City, looks like it's trying to become supercellular. It is struggling. Still a little bit of broad circulation out over here, just north and west of South Fulton. This back over here, although it looks concerning, is clear air contamination. That is just some, what do we call it? Contamination. Some bull crap. Some radar bull crap. Just a bunch of bull. Bull-loney. All right, Chad. Jeez Louise. See you later. He's really good at telling me when he wants to snuggle and also when he wants to leave. Neuropathy is no joke. They can find... What is neuropathy again? I know that has to do with nerves. Diabetic nerve pain? Oof. Yeah, nerve pain is the worst. I've had a pinched nerve before. Can't imagine that feeling all over the body. It was bad. Oof. You have osteoarthritis, so you feel everything. Autoimmune, fibro, and CFS. My goodness. Why is everybody in my chat and have so many diseases? Now I feel bad. I don't think I have any diseases. By the way, still tracking this 1.75 inch hail. Well, I probably have some sort of stomach disease, but I've never gotten it officially diagnosed because I don't have health insurance. I definitely have ADHD, but I don't really consider that a disease or a mental illness. Wow, you can actually see this hail falling on the correlation coefficient as well. Little specks here of yellow and green. That is that hail falling out of the storm, and it's about to come into Jordan. Then after that, it's going to be going into Chambers. They went up. Look, should have fully updated. It has fully updated. They have kept the wind risk, the hail risk, and they are keeping the 2% tornado risk. You can get disability for ADHD. I definitely don't need it. I took ADHD meds once and I hated them. And then from then on out, I just spent a lot of time learning how to be okay with it. I see it as a superpower, but you just have to really commit to things that you're passionate about and ignore everything else and hope you get lucky. Because I can tell you, I've been doing that my whole life, and I have only recently, actually, like within the past 5 years, I've actually made enough money to like be like, yeah, you know, I'm self-sufficient. A lot of my life, I was just bouncing off of different passions and getting close to succeeding, but not quite there. I mean, heck, with this YouTube channel, I just got lucky. But it is a superpower. You just need to, well, like, there's definitely times, like, for instance, 3 days ago, I ran over my golf clubs and snapped my 3-wood in half because I went outside with my golf clubs to put them in the back of my car. But when I got to the trunk was locked and I didn't have my key in my pocket. So I set my golf clubs down, went inside to get my key. But by the time I had the key in my hand, I forgot that my clubs existed. And then I hopped in my car and backed up and ran over my golf clubs and snapped my 3-wood in half. That's something I guess ADHD meds could fix, but in my head, I hate the lack of hunger and how dehydrated it makes you. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that is my entire life. Yes, is little tiny things like that happen daily. Sometimes it doesn't affect me like that bad, but sometimes it does. And then my procrastination, man, my procrastination might be some of the most severe in the world. I have a windshield that is fully cracked from one side to the other. In fact, some of you might remember when I got it from my winter stream. I have not replaced that window. Now, I tell my friends and I tell myself that it's there for a science experiment, that I'm trying to wait and figure out just how long it can be there before the whole window shatters. And it's still there. So, but yeah, I've been procrastinating on that forever. I just replaced my front tires and I almost wore them down to the rim. I have a little interesting area here. It does appear to be in the clear air. So it does kind of seem like it's hard to tell whether or not that's contaminated or not. I'm keeping an eye on it over here near Chambers. That's actually in Tennessee there. The storm itself looks outflow dominant, so it would surprise me if that was anything but just some contamination. But I'm keeping an eye on it just in case. Personally, I have adult onset ADHD. The meds literally allow me to turn my life around, but I'm typically the exception, not the rule. Yeah, the thing is, like, it depends, I guess, on like what meds they prescribe you. Like, they prescribed me meth, so I was tweaking. I wasn't eating. Like, every now and then, like, if I got dehydrated, I would start hallucinating a little bit. Like, when I was playing football, they tested me and I tested positive for meth. It's technically not meth. It was Vyvanse, or Adderall is similar, but it's basically like just pure meth is what it is. And I mean, it's good for dealing with issues in the short term, but it can cause so many long-term side effects. I don't know. I know some people it like really, really helps, but long-term use of that stuff cannot be helpful. There's other different medications for it. It is a version of meth. Yeah, it is. Enough to test positive in a drug test. So. It really does depend on the person. Like, I have about as bad as ADHD as you can get. And you know what? I definitely have moments in life where it really bites me in the butt. But I've mastered procrastination. I've also mastered how to deal with like mundane tasks. I just don't do them. Like I have a complete inability to clean, so I just get maids. Like I've learned how like when to reach out for people to help me in certain things and when to, you know, take certain things on. I will say on Vyvanse, I was like, I became what I felt was like a superhuman, but at tasks that I did not have any care about. If you're somebody that's forced into that task, that's probably where ADHD meds help you the most. But I would say the downside of that is that like you're missing out. Like the hyper focus that you get when you find your passion as an ADHD person is 10 times stronger than that. It's literal superpower. If you find your passion as an ADHD person and you can figure out some way to monetize it, it is a literal superpower. It is something that no other human has, and it's only something that you have if you have ADHD. And the worse the ADHD, the stronger that hyperfixation can get with mundane or with tasks that you're passionate about. All right, so they have upgraded this severe thunderstorm warning to the south here for 1.75 inch hail. That hail core is still here. Looks like it's moving in between South Fulton and Chambers right now. Some of that could be getting spit out a little bit further to the south and east, close to Union City. This is the camera that we are watching. This storm back over here probably doesn't have that golf ball sized hail heading towards Palmersville. It's mainly in this storm here. So if you live like near Union City, north of Martin, that's probably where most of that golf ball sized hail is going to be located. Start 24/7 live stream? Probably not. I need sleep. I do them every now and then, though. It's just hard. I'm 32, so I don't have the ability to stay up super late that often. Like I just did like a 22-hour stream with Melissa. I'll tell you for me, I have I fixate on like scientific and deep thinking, like philosophy and all that stuff. And it has ruined my life. So there are times when it's not, I wish I was more ignorant and stupid, honestly. Like I can never talk about anything that I want to with my friends because they just tune me out when I start talking like that. And then I have to dumb myself down to literally 99% of the people that I talk to, which is not fun. A little bit of rotation developing here near Belmead subdivision. Keeping a close eye on that. It's not super tight rotation yet, but it's trying to organize there. Just worth keeping an eye on. It's still relatively broad right now, but if you live just south of South Fulton, watch out for that. I'm surprised we don't see a shelf cloud on this camera yet. It's pretty close to this camera. Although the camera just might not be facing the right way, I guess. Can we see any shelf cloud on Martin yet? Winter weather advisory in Hawaii? What? Is that for like the higher elevations? Oh yeah, no, 100%. I constantly go through, in fact, just like a week ago, I went through an entire week where I thought I was crazy. It happens all the time to me. Because yes, people will literally look at you like you're some weird freak. But I know for a fact that my brain it functions pretty darn well. I have proved it many times to myself, but sometimes it just feels like I'm crazy. Like straight up. So keeping folks weather safe. Appreciate all you do. Thank you. I appreciate that, Regina. I appreciate it. And thank you, Corey, for the $10 of PLN money. Where's that from? Impossible you can never dumb down enough. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to be the best streamer, dumbing it down as far as possible is probably the best way to go. Because everybody that watches you thinks that they're smarter than you, and then they'll just stay and watch you forever. Because they're just sitting there stroking their own ego, watching you be dumb. Oh, I definitely don't care what other people think, Pam. I'm already there. I am already there. Wow, look at this rain and wind coming into Union City. They are getting shamacked by the storm now. Maybe some hail on the northeastern side and eastern side of Union City, Tennessee. ADHD has got me in trouble multiple times. Dude, I have like, there was a portion of my life where I think it was like from like 16 to about 24, 25, where I lost probably about 6 wallets and 4 phones. It was terrible. And keys. Leaving keys inside the car, losing keys. Anything that was not attached to my body was at threat of getting lost. Wow. Look at this rain and wind. Definitely a decent storm coming through Union City. And next up is going to be Palmersville, Martin and Dresden, Tennessee. But somehow I have grown out of that. I haven't lost my phone in a while. I haven't lost my wallet in a while. So thankfully that's not as big of a problem. Maybe we'll see a shelf cloud with this camera out of Martin. It seems like it's facing maybe in a little bit more favorable direction towards the storm. No card, no locks, no keys, no problem. There you go. Storm is so fat, the radar is collapsing from how big it is. That was a fun stream. We were making fun of the storm. Alrighty. This little area of circulation is still pretty broad over here, south of South Fulton. Still mainly a pretty big hail threat here. Again, considerable severe thunderstorm with golf ball sized hail is nothing to scoff at. That's definitely going to cause some dinks in your cars. And that is coming really close here to campground in Heinzevere. What's tomorrow bringing? Not much. And we're still in this really quiet period. And that's probably not going to change until like, I mean, I guess, you know, this storm, not tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be pretty uneventful. We're going to have some rain over there in Arizona, maybe some flooding over there. And then as we go into the 20th, though, like the 19th going into the 20th, could see some storms over there near Dallas. Not really seeing much evidence of anything too crazy. Some heavier rain over there in Missouri, potentially also in Arkansas as well. And then this will slowly traverse the country, bringing decent amount of rain. If we come over here to the GFS, folks are going to be getting rain. Look at the total rainfall accumulation. Yeah, I mean, it's not like blockbuster rain. Some people are going to see some drizzles, a little bit of drizzles and drazzles. Maybe could get up to 2 inches of rain there in northern Arkansas. Back over here near Tennessee with this storm that's coming through. And then maybe some isolated flooding north of Fredericksburg. There in Texas with up to 3 to 5 inches of rain possible there. And in terms of snow, in the 5-day range, at least according to the GFS, maybe over here in Pennsylvania, 1 to 2 inches being possible. When does that happen? Oh, wow. That happens soon. We'll check the HRRR and see if it's seeing the same thing. Yeah, a little dusting. Maybe even get some snow up there in northern New Jersey. About 1 inch possible. Not sure how much of this will actually accumulate, given it's been a little bit warmer out here. Those ground temperatures have gotten a little bit higher again. So not sure how much this is going to accumulate, but you are definitely going to see some flakes most likely up here. And if you get lucky, maybe get like 1 inch of snow, which I'm sure you guys will be not really that excited about. Maybe a dusting there in Michigan and Wisconsin as well. That's really, honestly, the only bit of snow I see in the forecastable range. Again, anything really past 3 days with snow is almost pointless to talk about. Unless like if you get bigger agreement, you can technically go out to 5 days, but you have to put a lot of caveats on it. And then really not worth talking about anything past 7 days or 5 days. Yeah, our areas of rotation still looking uninteresting, but still a large area here of golf ball sized hail moving just north of Martin, Tennessee. Let's go check out Martin again. Thank you, Corey, for becoming a WIMD member, and thank you, Sadie, for the $2 donation. When is the cold hitting us in Tennessee? Not sure. There is a signal that is building that we could get some colder temperatures as we move after Thanksgiving, especially down here in the southeast. But again, that's pretty far out. I mean, we're still talking like 9 days out, so that cold signal could evaporate in that time frame. But there's a couple of models indicating it. It's just nothing enough to give us any confidence yet. Usually temperatures are easier to forecast though than like snow and stuff. So I would say you could have a little bit more confidence that it could get colder after Thanksgiving than per se actually getting snow. Wouldn't mind at least some rain in Clarksville. You might get some, but again, the main storm that was supposed to hit you is gone to your west. At least if you compare it to the models, so. I think I see maybe a shelf cloud peeking in on the right side of the screen there. Dunham, England. Funny. We don't talk about Durham, sorry. We don't talk about England very often. Actually, never. Unless you're talking about the portion of England that is in the United States, secretly, that nobody knows about. It's called New England. People think that's part of the United States, but if you go look at the town names and how they pronunciate them, they're basically just England. Yeah, Martin's either going to get the wind from this storm or the hail. If you live like in North Martin, Tennessee, you're probably going to see that golf ball sized hail. Getting a notch. Kind of. I wouldn't call it a notch. It's more of just what you're looking at here is an outflow boundary. It's not really a notch. Just an area of colder air moving in here. Gonna have to see this surge a tad bit further to the south with a notch forming to its north to be a little bit more concerned for a tornado. Still wouldn't rule up like a brief spin up, like, you know, a little bit behind this outflow boundary, like near right here on the leading edge of it. But we haven't seen any definite signals for that yet. Radar Omega Cruise is where these cams are located. No, you can harass the storm in any form of fashion. Storms are bad. You can say whatever you want to them. They hurt people. They did put out a new mesoscale discussion not too long ago. What? I just saw a news story that the United States has announced that we are giving security guarantees for Saudi Arabia, basically making them a NATO ally. That's freaking weird. Why? Hello? Sorry, a little bit off topic, but I just saw it on my feed. Thought I'd share it. Yeah, there was a mesoscale discussion issued a while ago, but I don't think we've had anything since then. Where's the shelf cloud? I guess this camera's just not facing the right direction again. I have a feeling it's going to pop up on the right, like right before the storm hits. We're going to kind of see it, but it's not going to be that great. We'll see. It's a good thing. It's not a good thing, guys. Every time that a security guarantee happens, that means more tax dollar money is going to that instead of you. We need those here at home. There's a lot of people struggling economically right now. And then, like, why Saudi Arabia? That just don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense, man. For louder, your stomach growls louder after Taco Bell. Yeah, no kidding. Taco Bell's pretty good, but man, it does not sit right with stomachs around the world. You're not the only one. Even if you just get like a taco, which is basically just lettuce, taco seasoning, taco meat, cheese, and tomatoes. Somehow they still manage to mess up your stomach. Cookeville, Tennessee. Where's Cookeville? Let me search. Cookeville, Tennessee. Oops. Doesn't exist. Sorry. Just kidding. Spelled it wrong. There it is. Ah, I cooked the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, definitely some possibility of some minor thunderstorms to develop here shortly. But really not going to see much more than that. Maybe some isolated instances of rain. Nothing to really be worried about, to be honest. It'd be like a very isolated chance for some severe weather over there. Main areas that we are concerned about right now is over here near just north of Martin, heading in between Latham and Dresden. Have a pocket of this storm that has golf ball sized hail that is moving down to the south. And a little area of rotation now developing here south and east of Latham. Some of that might be hail contaminated a little bit though, but There is a little pocket of rotation there. This camera's out of Martinsville. Oh, and you can see the leading edge of the shelf right there. Dover. Any bends in Dover, Tennessee? Let's see. Yeah, Dover is going to get missed by the worst of it, but maybe some showers and thunderstorms later on. Does the reflectivity change colors? It's to highlight where the hail is in the storm. I have it set to where the hail is. That's why it flashes. It just kind of shows where the hail is. Wasn't that a joke? It was a joke, actually. Get it? Ben Dover. I'm so funny. Well, it's about to start raining here in Martin. Oh, is that a power flash? Probably not. It's always hard to tell when you're in like the night mode. I want to see how strong this storm is for Martin. Be watching out for some potential for some hail, maybe even up to golf ball sized hail, and some 60-mile-per-hour winds are about to come through this area. Union City is good for now. You might have another chance for some rain. There are some showers behind this, but we're not expecting anything as severe as what you guys just got. You guys have already gotten probably the worst of what you're going to get in Union City. Dixon, Tennessee. Oh, there's another one. There is another one. We got Ben Dover and Dixon, Tennessee. All right, let me see. Looks like the bigger storm's probably gonna miss you guys. And it's gonna come pretty close, but it's probably gonna miss you. Oh, camera might be getting smacked by some hail here. Can't really tell. But yeah, Dixon might get some rain and some thunder, but I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy. Small chance for severe weather. Anybody in chat viewing from Martin? Oh yeah. Conditions are definitely getting a little bit more dicey here in Martin, Tennessee. Wow. We just got an extension of the severe thunderstorm warning. They're keeping the 1.75-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as this makes it through Martin. That's eventually going to be pulling up into Dresden next, Gleaston after that, and then maybe Paris. Paris might get the weaker portion of the storm, though. Really mainly worried for this larger hail for like Dresden, Como, Midway, Gleason, and Henry, maybe Mackenzie in Tennessee. Let me check the meso scale, see if our mixed layer. Oh, wow. Actually, the lower level lapse rates on this storm have fallen below 6, which probably is going to really lower our tornado threat. Still some instability though, but those lower level lapse rates being below 6 is usually, especially in the southeast, just an absolute killer for tornado threats. So that's good in terms of killing the tornado threats. And I'll tell you what, that hail though is impressive for such low lapse rates. Wow. Feels so much later than it actually is. It is. I was playing golf on Sunday, and I was stuck behind this. There was a senior tournament happening, and it slowed the pace of play down a lot. I started at 12:30, and then by 5:30, it was just too dark to play. These are live, yes. This is a live view of Martin, Tennessee. They're potentially getting up to golf ball sized hail, which has been observed, by the way, and 60-mile-per-hour winds, which I definitely believe, given what this camera showed so far. And thank you, Gray, for the less than 3. Thank you. Yeah, that is this storm right here. We're getting a little bit of a wind surge here. Maybe a couplet. That also could be hail contaminated. There is some hail kind of wrapping around in there. Yeah, it disappeared on the latest scan, so I don't think that was legitimate. Probably just some hail contamination. Definitely a lot of hail falling here. If we come over to the CC, you can definitely see where a lot of that hail is falling. Right here, we see all these greens and yellows. There is that hail core. Looks like it is making it into Martin. Let me see if I have any cameras after these. This is Union City. Looks like things have really calmed down over there. Anything further down the way? What is this? Huntington, which I think is too far south. We have one in Paris, which is our only other closest one, I think. Yeah. Other than the one we were just watching, Paris is definitely the closest. Might get some heavier rain in Paris. Paris, Tennessee. Maybe. We'll see. Should Evansville, Indiana be concerned? I wouldn't say concerned, but you know, there is some chances for severe weather up here. I don't think your tornado threat is really existent whatsoever, but maybe could get some heavier rain and maybe even some small hail and wind over here in Evansville, and definitely some lightning. And that'll be moving here through, let me put this in motion for you. That'll be moving through probably over the next 30 minutes to an hour. We'll come put it on the composite here really quick so everybody can see their storms for a little bit. No problem, Kayla. You're so nervous even though your area is not at risk for anything major. Does me being live make you nervous? I promise the main goal of this stream was to just hang out. Definitely wasn't expecting a tornado warning today, but it technically was possible. I just realized my warnings are muted. Let me fix that. Will Jackson, Tennessee get anything bad with this? Where is Jackson? Looks like the worst of it'll probably go to your north. Could see some more development, but we really haven't seen much development other than with just this storm in this area. We have a couple of thunderstorms trying to develop over here into northeastern Arkansas. We have these storms back over here, which will probably remain sub-severe, but might eke out maybe a couple severe thunderstorms like around like the Evansville, Owensboro area. But once we move into the overnight period, those should subside pretty quickly. A little bit drier out there than was forecasted, at least for this point. Is there anything for south of Mayfield, Kentucky? Let me see. Where's Mayfield? Mayfield over here. Not very. You said south. I mean, there are some storms in your area, so technically you could get some thunder, but I'm not really expecting much severe. What about Mackenzie? Yeah, Mackenzie, I'm a little worried about there. Especially if you guys get some of this golf ball sized hail. I'm expecting this storm to really start to fall apart though here shortly, if not is happening right now. Because I just think we're running out of a lot of our kinematics here. Our thermodynamics are getting a little bit iffy. The storm is just barely hanging on by a thread. But it is hanging on. So it's dying. I wouldn't say completely. I mean, I still think we have some golf ball sized hail in this storm. It doesn't look as organized as it did before. And it probably will never look like it did before again. Especially like south of Fulton, where that was like a lot more of an area there of that golf ball sized hail. And in fact, they did downgrade this from golf ball now down to ping pong ball sized hail. Have any plans for Thanksgiving? I'm probably gonna hang out with family. Hang out with family, eat some turkey, watch some football, drink some beer. I don't know. I haven't really planned much further than that. Pretty much whatever I do, what I usually do on every Thanksgiving. $50 sized hail reported in Martin. Okay, that's not too bad. Not golf ball size, so. I love how like everything is just turning into AI. Like there's AI mode now in Google. I get notifications on my computer. Do you want to talk to Copilot? I'm like, please. They're really trying to force it on everybody and like for everything. The world's gonna be crazy in 2 years. That's all I know. What was that one? I remember there was a website that had storm reports. I'm not sure if I still have it. I think I bookmarked it. See if I can find it. Would be nice to have it. I could technically turn on Radar Mega Storm. Actually, we'll just do that. I feel like Radar Mega Storm reports are pretty slow, though. Yeah, $50 sized hail north of Martin was reported. Northwest of Martin. We haven't gotten any any golf ball sized hail reports. But it hasn't really gone through any major populated regions though. But I do think our tornado threat is getting pretty darn close to zero. but still some pretty decent hail over here north of Dresden, potentially up to ping pong ball sized hail. Sometimes reports are relayed faster on radar mega. Oh, okay. They must have changed it, gotten it better. Yeah, folks, I think that's going to be it for me. I don't think we're going to see this tornado threat really ramp back up, but keep your eye out on this storm. Again, the main areas that I'm worried about is Dresden, Gleason, and Mackenzie. I really don't see this storm lasting past then. I really don't see it lasting past Mackenzie. And I wouldn't be surprised if it enters Mackenzie as on the lower side of severe storms, like, 1-inch hail type storm. That's kind of my thoughts on this. I don't think it's going to last much longer. I don't think our tornado threat is going to be there really. I mean, the wind shear is technically increasing, but our instability, our thermodynamics, everything's really just not that favorable. But I got to eat dinner. And so I'm going to go do that. If anything pops up that's like crazy on this storm, I'll come back. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for tuning in. Seriously. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. It's always fun talking to you guys. I actually like talking to you guys more than I like talking to some of my friends. So anyways, you guys take it easy for the rest of the night, and let me see if there's anyone that I can raid. So don't go anywhere. Maybe we can raid somebody and make their day. Huh? Who's live? Vince is live. We'll raid Vince. We're going to raid Vince. He's the only person live. He's on a data mission. He's the one that's launching those balloons. That excites me. Storm enthusiasts launching balloons. That excites me. Yeah, we're gonna raid Vince. Tell him thank you for launching balloons into the sky and getting data. But yeah, you guys take it easy. And I will see y'all later.